Hello viewers, today I am going to make a video for BA 6th semester English major students of Dibrugarh University. In this video I am going to discuss the novel Huckleberry Finn as a Picaresque novel. The Adventure of Huckleberry Finn can be considered as a Picaresque novel is based on a story that is typically satirical and illustrates with a realistic and witty detail of the adventures of a roguish hero of lower social standing who lives in a corrupt society. The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain is an eminent example of Picaresque literature. There are many aspects of the novel that portray Picaresque through the history and personality of the main character, Huck. Although Huck has good intentions and is by nature innocent, he is the Picaro in the story. A Picaro or rogue is an unprincipled adolescent who is very mischievous in personality, also known as a rascal or scoundrel. Through the use of Huck as the rogue, there are several qualities in the novel that make it a solid Picaresque tale. First, it is necessary to examine the character of Huckleberry Finn to illustrate how he could invoke the role of the rascally hero. From the beginning of the novel, Mark Twain makes it clear that Huck is a boy that comes from the lowest level of white society. His father is a drunkard who disappears for long periods of time only to show back up to steal away his son's money. Huck is depicted as usually dirty, messy, and often homeless, even when he is provided shelter by the widow Douglas. The widow Douglas attempts to reform and improve Huck, but he refuses to give in to her attempts and maintains his self-regulating and ill-disciplined ways. His unruly ways are highlighted when casted next to his companion Tom Sawyer, who is educated and depicted as a middle-class citizen. Tom's role emphasizes the Picaro role played by Huck Finn, while they both are boys and do naughty things. Tom's civilized nature intensifies the reader's perception on how uncivilized Huck is. Twain accentuates Huck's role as the rogue in this Picaresque story is by speaking through him as the narrator and allowing his dialect to emphasize who Huck is, where he comes from, and what his primary traits are. By speaking through Huck, Twain uses the vernacular of the lower class citizens of the time. Twain uses Huck as a narrator to show through his language and thought that Huck is a Picaro. The novel strongly expresses that Huck will not conform to society and confirms his roots as a scoundrel, stating that that is all he will ever be. This is the basis of what a Picaresque tale is. Huck is consistently shown as the mischievous hero through his dialect and the reader's ability to have an omniscient view into the thoughts of Huckleberry Finn. Another very prominent aspect of a Picaresque novel is that the Picaro often wanders around with no true destination in mind. Huckleberry Finn is the epitome of a wander. From the very beginning of the book, when he has been taken in by the widow Douglas, he still sneaks out to wander around and sleep in the woods. Huck's preference of sleeping in the woods instead of a bed represents not only Huck's uncivility and refusal to conform, but also introduces us to him as a wanderer, a key element in Picaresque. Huck remains a wanderer without a destination for a good majority of the book. In the entire second half of the book, Huck is on the river, sailing away from conformity, but with no true destination in mind. Huck is the essence of a wanderer, which strengthens his role as the Picaro in the story. There are several specific events and examples that occur in this novel that support the adventures of Huckleberry Finn as a Picaresque story. One of the first events that casts Huck as a Picaro is the entrance of Huck's father into the story. Twain could have just left Pep out and just let the reader know that Huck was an orphan and his father was a drunkard, but bringing Pep back into Huck's life, it creates a stronger picture of what Huck is coming from. It illustrates that he is coming from an illegitimate family, which is an important characteristic of a rogue in a story. Twain also brings Pep back into the picture because he is able to use Pep's dialect to strengthen the scoundrel image of Huck and add to the satirical quality of a Picaresque story. His poor speech and ignorance backs up the Huck's place as the Picaro and helps to create the crucial element of satire, irony, humor that is necessary in a Picaresque novel. An additional event that occurs in the novel is when the boys form a band of robbers. This is significant in the development of Huck as a Picaro in a couple of ways. First, the fact that he is willing to join a band of robbers emphasizes his naughty nature. While Tom wants to have a band of robbers because that is what happens in all of his books, it is seemingly that Huck wants to join strictly for the adventure. A notable event in the story is when Huck stages his own murder and ran away. A Picaro is often defined as someone who is not very honest or straightforward, but instead is something more of a liar. However, Huck's lies continues throughout his travels on the river. The lie about his death just being the beginning. Huck never has to think about what lie he will use because it just happens naturally because of the way he was raised and because of his scoundrel personality. Thus, there were many occurrences throughout Huck's travel where he lied and cheated his way through a variety of experiences. There are several aspects to this novel that show that Mark Twain was trying to cast Huckleberry Finn as the Picaro in his Picaresque story, and he was evidently successful at creating a timeless story with one of the world's most favored scoundrels. Twain's choice to make this novel Picaresque illustrates that he believes that the lower social classes who choose not to conform to modern day society have the right idea. Although Huck is mischievous, comes from an illegitimate family, is uneducated and sometimes a liar, Twain creates a character that is still a hero, and the reader feels good about Huck's resistance to conformity and his realistic views about civilization. Huck's role as the rogue and the hero reflect Twain's views on the American society's eagerness to conform and depend upon fiction and the past, and how all of those things are not necessarily what is best, that may be uneducated, lying, rascal has a better chance of truly getting out of this world what we are meant to. Thank you.